Right, let's try a cheeky 0 to 60. Wow, that is a quick car. That is a very quick car. Right, I'm back again. So we're off down to the Tesla service centre in Chelmsford in Essex in the UK. And basically the reason for the journey is the person I deal with Tesla in the service centre down at Dartford in Kent has moved. So I'm going to go down and just see how they're settling in. Messaged me the other day, pop down and have a coffee. And he did say that he's got some very interesting news about the Tesla Juniper. So I wonder what that's about, so we'll find out when we get down there. And I'm also going to take the opportunity to try, I haven't asked him yet, but I'm going down early enough in the morning when you open, so I'm assuming it's not going to be that busy. And hopefully they'll have a Model 3 Performance there on the Highland version, so I can take it out for a spin, because I've never been in a Highland Model 3 yet, so that'll be nice to do. So what we'll do, we'll get down there, we'll have a look about, let's see what information he's got in the Juniper, and hopefully I can do the test drive on the Model 3 Performance and compare it to this. So I'll bring you back when we get down to the Tesla service centre. Speak to you soon. Outside of the Tesla service centre in Chelmsford, as you can see, it's not the biggest one. To the bottom left of your picture there is supercharging facilities there, so let's get inside and let's get the chat away with the service agents and let's see what's available or what's happening with the Juniper. Sorry folks, just had to pause the video to explain to you what's happened. So during the edit of the video, I realised that when I went into the Tesla showroom, because I had it recorded on my chest mount with my Action Pro 5, that basically the music that was played in the background is copyrighted. So I've had to cut that bit out, otherwise I'll get a strike off YouTube. So don't worry, I'll cover it off when I do the test drive. Now on the test drive, I went there specifically to try and test drive the Model 3 Performance Highland. I ended up with the Long Range Highland, but I was really surprised by that car, which I'll cover off when you watch the next bit. But I will reveal what they said about the launch of the Tesla Model Juniper, and there's some stuff inside that I didn't even know was happening regarding the drive function of the car, the indicators. I've not seen anything out there about this, so I don't know if it's a scoop. It's probably not. It's probably me getting overexcited. But watch the next bit, watch the test drive, because I'll reveal all. Right, not quite the Model 3 Performance model I wanted to test drive, but I have got the all-wheel drive model instead. So we'll have a quick whiz around it. What I really like is the frogginess has disappeared on the front, so the front styling is a lot better than my old Model 3. But pretty much it looks like a Tesla. It does look like a Tesla when you see it, rather than the Juniper, which God knows what it looks like, and we'll see when it comes in. Let's open the boot. Yeah, the boot's slightly different the way the boot opens. And there is plenty of room in the back of this. And I'm not sure if this hatch seems a bit wider here as well compared to my old Model 3. And I'll tell you what, this bit underneath looks a lot bigger than my old Model 3 as well. Look in the back. What I notice is these seats here are definitely longer, so it should be a bit more comfortable to sit on. Let's give it a go. Oh, definitely. Well, the first thing I've noticed though is my head is touching the roof of the glass, so it must slope down more than what the old Model 3 did. I'm 6'1" and my head is touching the roof. Just say touching it. If I slide down a bit, then I'm okay. But if I sit up perfect, yeah, my head's touching the roof. Rear screen display. Do you know what? I don't think this is as good as my aftermarket one, to be honest. And the interior is definitely better than the old style, I think, as well. Just notice as well there is a power function for the the boot. Let's have a look inside, see what we think. And to be fair, I think this seems a bit wider as well compared to the old Model 3, the centre console piece. Screen's the same. Right, there is a difference on this. Let me talk you through, because this is always the contentious issue regarding stalks or no stalks. So when you get in the Model 3 Highland version, it's slightly different. You do not put your key here anymore. You put it on the charging pad to engage it, and you put your foot on the brake. Now straight away you can see this lit up here. What this does, because you haven't got any direction on your stalks anymore, all you do is you press this up to go forward, and you press it back down to go in reverse. Now apparently it does have a sensor, so for example if you're reversed against a wall, the car will know that and know you can't go back, so it'll just pull forward. But take away any ambiguity, just use this little piece here. Where are we at? There we go. And that gives you your direction. Indicators are here, right and left. So without further ado, let's give it a spin out and see what we think. Right, so let's take this Highland Old AWD out for a spin. Right, so the difference is now, what I would normally do is I would put my car into drive. So as I said earlier, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to push up the little car icon into the forward position, and now I'm in drive, ready to go. So, let's go. Now the first thing I can feel is the responsiveness on the throttle seems pretty lively compared to the old AWD. It feels like performance responsive, even though it's not. So yeah, let's see what she's like. And to be fair, the noise in the cabin, you can tell it's completely quiet. Now I thought my cabin noise in my Model Y Performance was really quiet. This is super quiet. That's the first thing that hits me, is the quietness of it. Now the drive feels great. It feels solid. I'm going to go around this roundabout a little bit nippy. Now I've just got to do my indicator there, and I can't because it's up here. So this is a bit confusing because I'm going around the roundabout and it's a bit awkward to put my indicator on, rather than, yeah, that's weird. So it's okay while your steering wheel's in the straight position like it is now, you just hit your indicators left or right. But when you're going around corners and roundabouts, it's a bit awkward. Right, here we go. I'm coming up to roundabout now. Now I'm going to indicate to go right, easy enough. God, this car's got some response on it, to be fair, and it's only an all-wheel drive. So I'm going round now. If I want to change it back again, I just press that. It wasn't easy. That wasn't easy. Now I suppose that's going to have to take some getting used to, that. And to stop the indicators, you touch the indicator that you press, you just touch that straight away and it stops the indicator. Now, another thing that I'm looking at is the screen. The screen does feel sharp, really sharp. So I'm just going around this roundabout, making sure I don't hit anything. Yeah, I've got to say, guys, I do like this. Indicators are a bit iffy, by the way. I'm not sure about that at all. But it feels really good. The steering wheel's completely different as well. And I do like the little Tesla logos changed in the centre. It's amazing what things you pick up for when you've owned one of these previously, and the subtle differences it has. What's the mirrors like? Yeah, mirrors are the same. So what's your thoughts, people? For those of you who potentially haven't seen one, which I dare say there's not many people about now who hasn't seen one. Right, see, I went to do my indicator again now. I'm going to press it up here. Do you know, that's the only thing that sort of irritates me a bit, is the indicators. However, when you get the Model Y Juniper, the lady in the service centre gave me some right good info on that. So what she said was, even though the Juniper is going to come with indicator stalks, it does not operate the drive functionality. It just operates the indicators. The drive functionality is exactly the same as what I've just showed you here. So you've got to use this style functionality to get it to go forwards and backwards. God, this car's got some pork on it. Nearly as good as my performance, this. This has got some pork on it. Responds immediately on the throttle. Really good. So, yeah, what's your thoughts, people? I love the interior. The interior is really nice. The seats are really comfortable in the hug here. And I know the performance version of this have probably got better hugging seats because they're a different style altogether. Right, indicator. See, I'm getting mixed up with the indicators now. So at least we won't have this on the Juniper. Yeah, so indicators are... Listen, it might be just me having to get used to it if you were to own a vehicle like this. And I'm sure people who are watching this will say, yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's all right. But I just find it a bit awkward when you've got your steering wheel sort of 2/3 of the way around and you sort of lose your bearings on where you are. So, yeah, that's quite weird, that. Yeah, so that's interesting news, that. People are thinking that with the Juniper, that you're going to have your stalks on like you've got now, and I'm assuming people will probably think that would operate the drive and the indicators. Well, it doesn't. News hot off the press. And also, with the Juniper, it's been released in 2 countries, I believe. One is Australia and one is China, and it's called the Launch Edition of the Juniper. Now, these have got a special badge on them that only come with the launch version. So when the Juniper gets released in other countries, you won't have that badge on the back of the Juniper because it's not going to be a launch model. And what she also said was the interior of the launch model is going to be slightly different to what the interior of the general public, for want of a better expression, Juniper. So that'll be interesting to see how that transpires. But she said, for example, there was different materials used on the launch edition. Different cloths have been used on the launch edition. So what you see now is probably, unless you're in China or Australia, is probably going to be slightly different if you were to order a Juniper in your country when it's released carte blanche. So give that some thought. So overall, first impressions of this car, I like it. The air-wheel drive is really responsive. She has got a car performance in the showroom, so I'll have a look at that and sit in the seats and see if I can compare the difference. But yeah, overall, this is a good car. It's just the indicators that are a bit confusing. So we'll see how that bit goes. But all in all, guys, yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's comfortable. Look, I went indicate there and I can't find the bloody button. That's right. So as you can see, it's round there now. I'm going to press the indicator button here. It's up here. And it's really hard to see. Right, so I've got to take this car back now. I've had it for 45 minutes. She said take as long as you want, really. But I don't want to abuse it. But overall thoughts, I like this car. It's a really nice drive. It holds the road really well. The cabin noise is ultra quiet. And the interior is quite nice, to be fair. I like to see the white version of it, see what it's like in white. But in black, definitely better in the wood grain effect. But yeah, it's a nice car. Absolutely nice car. And, you know, do you know what? If my budget was a little bit tight, I would not be put off with getting an AWD long range, because this is really responsive and it's fast. And if you put I don't know if you can now actually, I was going to say if you chip it up and get the extra speed boost on it, but I don't know if you can do that on this version. I did read somewhere you couldn't do that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yes folks, really like it. Recommend it if anyone's thinking about it. My only niggle with this car is these indicators, but then I suppose you get used to them, yeah? Cool. Right, let's get back to the showroom, and I'm going to have a look around at the performance they've got in the showroom, and let's see what the differences are from the performance to this. Bring you back in a second. So here we have the Model 3 Performance in blue. What's your thoughts on blue? Looks really nice under the showroom lights. And there's the back end. The back end looks so much better. You've got the ludicrous badge on there as well. And obviously the carbon fibre tailpiece. Really nice. As you can see, the front looks a lot bigger than the old style Model 3 as well. And the washer is in a different place as well. It used to be up here somewhere, didn't it? So that's in a different place. But yeah, it looks really good. Front splitter looks really good as well compared to the AWD. More sporty and more aggressive. Right, sitting in the front of the car, I've noticed straight away that the bucket style seats with the ludicrous badge on really hug you better, really comfortable as well. Really impressed with the seats. But the rest of it is pretty much same old compared to the one I've just been in. But the seats feel really good. Well impressed with the seats. So that's the end of my little trip down to Chelmsford Service Centre, and I've had a great time down there, to be fair. There's nothing better than being a nerd and nerding out amongst Teslas. But what about that information? So I don't know, I haven't seen anything in the public domain which basically says that the new operating system is a hybrid version of the old system and the new one. And what I mean by that is, because the new Juniper has got indicator stalks, it doesn't give you the functionality, as I explained, to use your right stalk to go forward, reverse, park and neutral. That's all done on the screen. However, that is the manual process on the screen, but apparently the car will sense. So for example, if you parked up against your garage door, the car will sense that the only way you can go is forward, so it'll automatically put itself into that forward motion. And the same, if you were nose in, it would say, actually, the only way you can move forward is in reverse, and put itself in the reverse function. So I think that's a fantastic idea. I'm really pleased for anybody who's contemplating getting a Model Y Juniper regarding that, because it's the perfect solution. It gives you both options, and as I said, Tesla must have absolutely listened to feedback and come up with this version. So interesting your thoughts on that one. And the other one that came out, which blew me, was because China and Australia are doing the launch, the little badge on the back of that is a special launch badge, and that badge will not be on any of the Tesla. So when it's released generically around the world, it won't have that badge on it. So if you're contemplating pre-ordering one in those countries, get your order in now, because you could have a little bit of a collector's item there, because I would assume there won't be many of them about after a period of time that'll have that badge. And also that the interior is going to be slightly different on the launch model than what it will be on the generic model as well. Didn't go into too much specifics on that, but they did say the materials that have been used on some of the interior will be different to the generic launch when it goes worldwide. So what do you think about that? I'd be interested to see what changes when the generic launch comes out. Again, what's your thoughts? So all in all, it's been a really interesting day and really worthwhile day. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe.